What's going on, traders? Welcome back to Money Mitch. Yes, I'm back. I was a little bit under the weather, got some lights on, and guess what? I needed it today because what a roller coaster ride did we get in the market. We've been talking about the range that we've been in and stuck in, and now you're seeing that same kind of movement. And this is unexpected, but expected at the same time because this is one thing that you got to look at. And when you got to know when we're stuck in a range, we talked about it yesterday that the SPY was stuck in a range and we could get some downward action because we keep bouncing off these levels. Now, look exactly what we did today, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look here. The overall market. And you can see here, guys, the SPY just doing a chop zone, man. Look at that. Just chop stuck in the range between 436.06 and 441.03. I literally drew these lines before today, and I mean, you can see we came down exactly at 11 a.m. towards a low here of 436.10, and I had 436.06. I mean, not too off there. And this is why you always got to look at what I like to do is look at the hourly range in the SPY. I know a lot of traders look at the daily. The daily is going to give you a look, but also I like to go in a little bit closer and get into the hourly. Look for those hour reversals and then really start trying to maybe play the trend. Maybe we're just stuck in this time right now in this chop zone and we're getting chopped up. We're definitely going to go a little bit more in depth into stocks today. What we'll do is we'll take a lot more stocks from the chat. You know, whenever we have these chop days, one thing I want to do is go to the stocks that you guys want to see. Do you guys have some ideas out there? Of course, I'll get some of my own in here, and we'll take a look at also the movers list. What was moving today? You know, what had that good reversal at around that 11 o'clock hour and really started moving? But like always, guys, welcome to Money Mitch.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
What's up? What's up, traders? Yes, I know. Look. Hey, backyard. What happened to body? What happened was, I think it was because I was under the weather, you know, and not being able to work out or whatever. I might have affected the stock. I'm not sure, backyard. Nah, I'm just playing. But one thing is, we'll definitely take a look at body when we get into our ticker time. I'm not going to take too much time talking about my own ideas today. I want to hear about you guys. If you guys have some trade ideas, some story ideas, bring it to the chat. Today's that day. Let's go ahead and get this started. Hit that like up, hit the subscribe. Let's take a look at the cues and see what we're seeing. Definitely, Bill. Who wants a chop, because that's exactly what we're gonna get. I mean, man, these up and down moves, they're just chop action all over the place right now. All right, let's take a look here at the cues. Let's see what we saw on the cues today. And we were talking about how we could possibly pull back towards this 362.37. We drew out these levels, and we were kind of showing you how we were in this kind of little flag pattern. Let's see if we get through this flag pattern. Now that we're starting to push on up, we want to see a quick rip on up towards 370s on the cues. If we could get this to start lifting, then you could really get it back above that 370 and maybe ripping up towards the 375. We'll pay attention tomorrow. We got that same reversal. And a lot of times when you get these wicks, they keep just wicking out. And that's why you got to be careful and understand your position sizing, because a lot of times, sometimes you're going to get stopped out in moments like this and then look back and see that you actually ended the day green on the index. This is how you get chopped if you have sizing that's too big. So one thing that I always hear traders struggle with is the understanding that, hey, if I have too big share size, what does that really affect? Yes, it can affect your returns and you can get more returns, but you also have more pressure on the emotional side of trading. And so when moments like this, when the market goes ahead and takes, let's say, 2 hours down and hitting that support, a lot of times if you have a too big enough sizing, your emotions get to you and you just pull the trigger before the stop out. Because why? Because you start feeling the pain, you start feeling the hurt. And so you need to kind of look at yourself and see, hey, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? I think this is an important thing. Like always, there's not one way to trade. And I think I have to stress that enough, because I've been seeing a lot of traders out there, trying to give kind of more of an exact system. And I personally think here on Money Mitch, I don't think there is one way to trade. You need to find what works for you and what works in the current environment, because too many times I've seen that, hey, you're going to have these rotations, you're going to have these chop zone environments. And when you're in that chop zone, it's kind of hard to get these long-term moves because you get caught in the chop of the overall market versus your micro stock move that you're trying to get. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me know in the chat if you guys kind of agree with me, disagree with me. Like always, you guys can give your opinion. That's what it's all about. Give some feedback. Hit the thumbs up and let's keep it going. My heart's too weak for the up and down. I can't blame you. One of the things of the ups and downs is that what it tries to attack, and you got to remember this, is your mental capital. Why? Because, money's money. It runs out and then it runs dry. But what most traders don't understand is also your mental capital can run dry also. If you get caught in the chop zone too many times, what ends up happening is your emotions start getting into you, and then you start hesitating to take trades that you normally would, because, I mean, how much can your mind really take and continuously losing? If you're getting chopped up, realize that, hey, maybe I need to take a step back, ease up a little bit, maybe even learn how to just baby dip until I see that environment that's beneficial for my strategy. And that's what I also would say, because I said it that, not one strategy is the right way. Sometimes that one strategy that's working for you well, what you need to do is kind of wait until that environment comes back and then go ahead and increase the capital again. And like I say, when the river flows, you got to go ahead and just milk it, because there's only certain times that we get in the market where the market just really takes off, and a lot of our stocks are taking off. So this is what I've learned over time, is that there's going to be moments when I got to hold my hands, and there's going to be moments when I got to go start spitting out those bills to catch the returns that we're getting with the volatility in that market environment. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Let's get into some stocks. I want to go ahead and talk about some sectors. Like I always like to do, guys, take a look at some sectors. Let's take a look here. So energy has been bouncing back, doing well. If we look here, we're going to look at the daily charts to see how we're doing on those dailies. A strong bounce back today on energy. I mean, you can look at some of these, like let's say refining equipment, but really it was kind of more oil and gas kind of stocks here. Nice little rebound there. We also had basic materials looking strong today. You could look at steel. Steel was looking strong. We've given U.S. steel for a while now. It did pull back. We'll see if it kind of gets through this 2650 area. And then the next level from there would be up to 28 and 30s to start testing on up. We'll keep an eye out on these. There wasn't any massive mover, but NUE infrastructure stock definitely making a move. Infrastructure bill going through kind of makes sense there, right? All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. The next one that I take a look at is industrials. Industrials, you can see we're really starting to trending on up. We'll see if this can really start making kind of a breakout push here for the whole overall sector. And if you want to look at certain areas in that, you can look right now. Trucking has been doing good. Rental leasing services, some that I normally wouldn't mention, but looking good right now is Ryder R. If you look at this stock right now, you can see that uptrend running right into the trend line. I'm going to be paying attention to this stock, maybe for a day trade tomorrow, guys, on our live trading with Benzinga. So if you guys haven't caught me on there, definitely go on there. I might take a live trade on this. And this is Ryder Systems R. You also got RCII, Rent-A-Center. starting to push on up. We'll see if that can make maybe a little bit of a pullback tomorrow and then the lift, because we've tried multiple times to really extend from these levels. But we'll see tomorrow how that one comes in pre-market, and that's RCII. And then the last one that I would point out there is UHAL. This is another one in the rental leasing services that is pushing up towards the high. But as you can see, this one's expensive, and at 590 price tag, you're not going to get that much volatility for putting that much capital into the trade. So I would more look around the other two that are lower in capital, and we can watch those to see how they trade. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the movers that we got on the day on Benzinga Pro. I want to see some of the regular movers. What did we get? Did you guys see this Flora growth? Man, what a rocket this one did today. Let's take a look here. As you guys can see, this is a common pattern where I see stocks just really hold the VWAP. As you can see, every time it came back towards VWAP, you could have got yourself a kind of an entry off support. Eventually, what I like to use on a chart like this that keeps rocketing is more of a 5-minute look, because what I want to do is I want to get further pullbacks, and then I want to go ahead and let it rip into the next move. So if you can see here on each support, you did have that attempt to get in on the first 3 kind of rip outs on this stock, Flora Growth. Eventually, it went towards a longer kind of 5-minute consolidation, building a support. And then when it came back above VWAP, one thing I always talk about, if you get a stock to start breaking down VWAP, you want to see it recover and then claim it. Like literally come back, hold it, and then push right off above it. And then the volume should come following as you get towards the resistance breakout. And as you can see here, we got that volume to come in right on that 1050. When with the 1050, boom, gave us 11. We went sideways for a little bit, and from that 11, you got more volume, bringing you all the way up towards 14, and then you saw a pullback. But what a move there in FLGC, and man, Flora Growth. I guess I should have been watching this one. All right, let's go ahead and catch up with the chat. What's going on? How we doing out there? Looks like a lot of people are talking out there. Let me catch up with what everybody has out here. All right, amen to Mitch. Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Keep me in there. All right. So what's going on? How we doing out there, guys? What stocks you guys are taking a look at? Looks like there's ATVI being mentioned there. I'll see if the earnings came out in a second there. Money Mitch has good picks. Hey, right now I'm just trying to stay on the market, because right now it's all about learning where the rotations are and what's going to happen next, not necessarily what's happening now. So that's what I'm trying to focus on and trying to see where we're going to go to in the next 2 or 3 months. All right, guys, if you guys have a ticker you guys want me to take a look at, go ahead and make some call outs. If you guys saw a big mover, you can also make some call outs. Let me go ahead and take a look here. What are the big moves that we got here? Holly had a kind of a push up, and as you can see on after hours, it's already coming back down. So just be careful with that one. Supposedly, the company really got an offer for $23 per share from a Chinese company for a buyout. This is a SPAC, Holly. We'll see if it kind of gets that buyout. I mean, $23 per share is not really that bad. I mean, remember, this is a SPAC that kind of did this deal at $10. So, I mean, $13 up, not a bad deal if they get this one closed. Hood. I know that some people probably traded this today, and I just don't know. I can be honest, guys. I don't know about Hood. Reason why is I personally don't like the company, so it's going to be a little bit hard for me to kind of invest into this company just because of the things that they do for the retail industry. But one thing that you definitely saw today is a nice breakout. The question is, do we come back to test that low? A lot of times when IPOs give this kind of push on up, eventually we come back and test that low anyways. So I think this is more of a trade right now. If you want to go ahead and day trade it, why not? You know, it's a really good move to jump on that kind of breakout that we saw today. You saw it right here, guys, at 10 o'clock. It just completely ripped on up and didn't turn around. We'll see when this kind of turns around and does the pullback and if it's able to hold. All right, let's go ahead and see with the chat what stocks you guys want me to start taking a look at. I'm going to run through some as we only got about 10 minutes left. Looks like we had a little bit of a crypto jumping into our time, but let's go ahead and let's talk UPS. UPS being mentioned here. Let's take a look. All right, so UPS, United Parcel Service. The question is, do we get that gap up fill? I think you do. I think this is not a bad play to take a look at. Of course, you got to take a look at kind of where your lows are, where you're going to hold off of. I would use maybe around 190 as my stop out. Be looking for this to kind of clear into this shadow area and then get back up there towards this level, this 206.69. I think we could get back up towards that level before you kind of get a turnaround back down. So not a bad approach here if you like to show or like to trade the shadow gap fill up here on UPS. Skills, have they reported yet? Let me take a look here. Looks like the conference call is scheduled for 5:30. I'm going to see if we can maybe get that conference call played, because I know a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this. But looks like we did get earnings here. Looks like, let's take a look here, see what we got. All right, so Skill raises future 2021 sales guidance from 375 million to 375 million to 376 million. Not really much there. I mean, I didn't see much there, at least. Let's take a look here at their EPS. Adjusted EPS of 21 cents. It lost 21 cents, missing the 10-cent estimate. So worse than expected quarterly loss here for Skills. So not the best thing. I mean, of course, that's not what they wanted to see. The company reported quarterly sales of 89 million, which beat the analyst consensus of 88.2 million. So at least on sales, they did good, but on earnings per share, as you can see, not what was expected. I'm going to definitely pay attention to this. One of the things is I personally think that Skills might even get down towards a level that we can really jump into this. But let's take a look at where we're at right now and how we're trading. All right, so if we look at this right now, it just went down towards a low of, we got $13 here, exactly that 13. Now we made our way all the way up towards the VWAP. Look how we quickly reject off that level. So off of 1350s, we just completely knocked right back down. We'll see if this can kind of hold the 13 on any downside action. But for right now, I would be careful with this name. Doesn't look like the best. And the daily chart has it still on a downtrend. We'll see if this kind of can get down towards, I've been looking for this one to get down towards $10. But if it does get down towards $10, it will be interesting for myself. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get back in it. Thoughts on back to school plays? I would say that's a little bit too late, Hex. One of the things is it doesn't mean that, there's kids not going to do back to school shopping right now. But one of the things that you have to start looking for is what are the trends coming into the next, let's say, 3 months. I always feel like the market is at least always ahead, but at least like about 3 weeks ahead. So I'm looking for catalysts going into the next 2 to 3 months or for the rest of the quarter. And so with that being said, I'll be looking for, let's say, trends like going into utilities because of the winter time, right? We're going to look for some winter plays that are coming in because a lot of people went to do these summer plays. But what if maybe now in the winter, we start getting people to start coming back inside, and maybe even some of these indoor plays like gaming plays come back into play with the winter coming and not so many people coming outside. So these are kind of the ideas that I start thinking about, but it's not a bad thing to think about. I love how you're going about it and saying maybe this creates a catalyst in a different area and I need to take a look at it. That's how we find story. Then you want to go ahead and go a little bit deeper into the sectors and the industries to find out where that specific industry it is, where your story is from. And is there stocks that could get a lift from this catalyst? All right, let's go ahead. Let's get going. Happy. I sold Hood because of Mitch. Nah, I'm just playing, Sue. I mean, personally, you guys know how I feel. I've said the story. I did it on. If you guys didn't catch last week's Friday Money Mitch, I talked a lot about how I feel about Hood. I don't want to get into it in this show, but hey, it is what it is. It did pop up, and we'll see if it can continue on its run. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into some other stocks here. What are you guys seeing out there? If you guys got a stock you guys want me to take a look at, put it in the chat and I'll definitely get through it. All right, so we're getting towards 425. We got about 5 minutes left. I'm going to take a look at some of these stocks. I mean, SCR, I know someone was killing me yesterday, telling me, no, we're not going to take this stock because it's already ripped up. But what I was talking about was look for some opportunities, right? So SCR was one that I was looking at, and I did see a push on up here from around the low here of 1537 to a high of 1798. So we're talking about a move here. What were we talking about? We're talking about $2.50. So we're looking for about a $1.25 on the pullback for that 50% pullback. So you could think like 620, 1625, 16s. Look how this kind of holds these lows. Pullbacks are a good thing to see, especially when you see this nice lift out. I expect there to be a pullback, and that's how you start looking at an opportunity versus just jumping into the high. And then one thing you want to see is the continuation and a hold of the lows. So now you got higher lows, right? You have this low to go off of 1537, and then you could go off of this low 1612, and then start getting that higher low look, and then getting that rise with the trend. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into some stocks here. What you guys got for me? What do you want to look at? Walmart? All right, let's take a look at Wally World. I haven't taken a look at Walmart in a while, so I don't mind taking a look at that one. Looks like we got an unconfirmed earnings, usually around Tuesday, August 17th. You'll need the confirmed date, but let's go ahead and take a look here. Nice little lift there on Walmart today. I kind of like that look there. Let's take a look here at the weekly. The daily kind of confused me there. So when the daily confuses me, what I do is I just work backwards, guys. So let's first go to the weekly, and if anything, we could even go to the monthly. So with the weekly, you can kind of see that we're running into a trend line here. If you draw this trend line from this kind of wick area, and then you use that high that you have right here as the kind of the level to go off of, you can kind of see how we've been stuck in this area. Now, I would even use a further back time frame for this because it seems like there's some support that I'm not seeing clearly on the weekly. So what I do is I pull back the monthlies. When I pull back the monthlies, I'm able to at least find where I can really see clear support. So clear support for me is around 129.90s. Maybe that's just 130s if you wanted to be exact. But now that we've had that move up, you can kind of see we're running right into resistance. We could get a pullback from here and then kind of another test of this 130, then a breakout. If not, you want to see a quick breakout here. And one thing I will point out is that if you look at the trend of volume, the trend of volume is not really pointing out towards a massive like buyer's breakout, right? There's not that volume that's increasing. It's actually decreasing into the move. So I would need to see an increase once it gets through that level and then see a nice spike on the monthly chart. All right, we'll pay attention towards this. We'll see how that Walmart definitely performs. Let's go into some other names. What do we got out there? All right, so SoFi being mentioned in the chat. SoFi, let's take a look here. All right, so SoFi, one of the things that I would look at is that we didn't kind of hold kind of this monthly kind of look. We were kind of getting up towards this monthly look where we had this trend line. Now we're starting to crack underneath it. Looks like SoFi could make a quick move down. Now, if you look at the 1 week chart, you can see how we were kind of really approaching that. And what I wanted to see was a quick recovery back up towards 1625s, let's say 17. Then you could have came up and let's say trying to get up towards that trend line that's up here. right? But that's not what we're getting. We're going down towards testing towards the support. And if we crack this kind of 1472, 75s, we could be heading down towards the next support, which could be down closer towards 1250s. I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. I know that Chris is in this one on our SPAX Attack team. So check this out. Go to SPAX Attack tomorrow. Ask Chris what he thinks about SoFi. I think he'll give you even better analysis than I did. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. PLTR, one last one here. Of course, this stock has been kind of hanging out. And I like this stock. I know that I used to get to the point where I was like, man, but like, is this stock ever going to go anywhere? I think we're setting up. I think we're setting up for real. You know, one of the things is I would say, I said it, as long as it could hold this 20 on the pullback, we'd be looking good. That's exactly what we got. Then we got a sideways week, Harmy, giving us a potential trend reversal change here. Now I want to see the stock get back up here towards the 25s, 27, and really start breaking out. This is definitely a chart that I've been eyeing for a long time. And when you get those kind of attempts to break down, it's okay. Now that we got clear of 3 attempts to break down on the downside, I'm going to be looking for a big breakout in Palantir over the next, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see if that kind of happens in the next 2 to 3 weeks, Eunice. All right, let's go ahead. One more stock, maybe. Sue loves Palantir. I can't blame her. AJ loves Palantir. A lot of people love Palantir. Bodie says Palantir is on my no trade list. No worries. Guess what? Knock it off. It's okay. I don't mind you doing that. And I appreciate you saying that. That's what you got to do sometimes as a trader. If for any reason you just keep losing on a name and you just feel like you don't know it, it's okay. It's okay to do this. Put it on the no trade list and move forward. James, you know you got to give me credit on Palantir. Hey, it's hanging out. Let it break out first, and then I'll give you the credit, James. All right. One more. Let's go. VSCO. Let's take a look here. Sunday. Victoria. Where are we going to get to? So is this this? I'm guessing this is the spinoff, right? This is the spinoff from LB Sunday. You can go ahead and confirm for me. But man, I'm going to keep watching this. I think this could move, you guys. Look at the volume that came in at the close. I always pay attention. Look, 9.26 million at the close. We'll see if this kind of breaks that 56 on any downward action. Let's see the 15-minute chart here as you got that ride up to about almost 64. I'd be looking for a pullback towards support. Let's see if we can get towards 56 and hold. Below that, it comes down towards 52. It's going to be an interesting chart, definitely to watch. And I mean, even for like the after hours traders, I think this is an interesting one to watch with that much volume coming into it right there, right on the last tick. So the imbalance there, I need to check if it was a buy imbalance, but more than likely it's probably on the buy side there. We'll see if it kind of gets that rip back above 59 and 60s tomorrow. It was delisted from, there you go. That's what it was. Yeah, the spinoff. Shh. It's a secret. That's 100% right. I'm going to be watching this one. We'll see if this one really gets going. It's an interesting chart. We'll see if it kind of gets a bigger pullback. But hey, as we can see, we're taking it off. Today was the official listing. I appreciate you bringing that up. Sue said she loves it. Hey, not sure about the stock. Hey, but if you love it, then see a couple of things. One thing that I always look at in a brand, do they dilute their own brands by maybe too many like discounts? Do they have good brand awareness? Meaning that when you see the brand, does it just stand out? And I mean, Victoria's Secret, I think we can all agree, definitely stands out. And then another thing you got to ask yourself is, how will the profits be in the long run? I think, in the long run, it's still a trending brand, but we'll see how they run into competition with other brands coming in. All right. Good one, Sunday. I appreciate you bringing that one up. I honestly wasn't keeping an eye out on that stock, and I appreciate you bringing that up. That's what it's all about here. Our chat is definitely knowledgeable and bringing trade ideas to the Money Mitch. And then we can all go ahead and do our research and see if we want to go ahead and trade it tomorrow. All right, guys. Up next, you got Cannabis Insiders. It's probably already started and already getting going there. So you guys go check out some cannabis knowledge. If you guys want to talk some cannabis stocks, maybe the environment that's in right now, and who knows, like always, they have great interviews. So check it out, guys. Cannabis Insider. And we'll see you next time on